stay over there. Like, I kind of take offense that he even is calling Rob Markman a goof.
Yeah.
Rob Markman is comfortable in his skin.
Yes.
Never did nothing wrong
And a
to
good dude.
nobody.
Yeah.
Just a good dude all around the board.
Drake.
All right, let's see what the Podfather had to say about this Drake and Rob Markman beef. Make sure y'all like the video and subscribe. Let's get it.
Yeah.
But okay, so somebody pulled up an old Rob Markman clip of him interviewing Tory Lanez, where Tory Lanez was spitting a Lil Wayne verse, and I guess he stopped at the end of the final bar so Rob could say it with him, and Rob didn't. So Drake comments underneath, says, of course, this goof Markman can't finish the bar. Rob Markman responds underneath the comment. Comment beef. Responds underneath the comment and says, what did Rob Markman say? He said, well, I would call you names too, but you would sue. And then that was the end of the exchange. Yeah. So the next day I go to get my manicure.
That was a good one.
It's a good comeback.
That's a nice comeback right there.
That
was a body shot. That was a body shot.
I seen a tweet earlier. Someone called him Supac.
Supac. I saw that. Supac is funny.
That's funny.
Because he also has the Tupac Death Row chain that people were saying that he just purchased, which he purchased in 2023.
They say it's fake or something, right?
Yeah, no, they said he got it a few years ago.
I know, but I think someone is coming out and questioning the authenticity of the chain that he purchased.
Oh, okay. I didn't get that far.
Yeah.
But so then the next day I'm getting my manicure and Rob responds on his platform, YouTube, and he's like, my response to, or whatever the caption said. And I click it, and boy, was this just the fucking cleanest reply that you could do. And I was so mad at Mark. I was so mad at Rob Markman. Too classy.
I loved it.
Nah, like it was shady, but classy.
Why does Drake have such beef with Rob Markman? That's the thing I don't get.
I don't know.
Because for Drake to be Drake and take the time to actually go into the comments of a random post to come after
some old ass content,
right? Yeah. It seemed weird to me.
Not to me. He seems to have beef with the way that everybody covered the Kendrick battle who didn't suck his dick.
Got it. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
He has a problem if you went to the show and if he spoke to you. I think he just thinks that people sided with Kendrick and didn't give him a fair shot, and that manifests in these stupid beefs like this one.
Yeah, and he's been on that since the battles, really. Maybe before the battles. Some of the criticism has been taking place. I read an article in the New Yorker actually the other day talking about the decline of music review in general, music criticism in general, how like in the Rolling Stone or whatever, they used to just fucking bash people. And now it doesn't really happen as much because, partially at least because of fan bases being so rabid and annoying that it's like it's not even worth
That's a good point.
Scathing somebody over. And,
That's a great point.
And to your point too, the person themselves can now just fire back.
Or now I'm never going to do anything with you guys.
Right.
Yeah. I'm going to punish you for it.
Maybe I just didn't like your album, bro.
The artists that want you to review their music, I feel like you can tell now. And most artists don't want you to review their music.
Unless it's positive.
Correct.
And it didn't used to be like that.
Well, I'm not even going to say that because you could be sitting here, I've waxed poetic for years, positive. And the second you say one thing negative, that's the one that they heard.
That's what I said. I said that unless it's something positive, we don't
But they might not even know that something positive is happening. Right. I think a lot of artists just don't want you to review the music. When Killer Mike came up here, when Jid came up here, when Offset came up here, you could just tell the people that, have you heard this album?
Yeah.
What did you think? I'm here to hear what you think. Versus the people that are playing a different game that don't really care about the reviews. They want to go to their controlled places.
Environment.
Yeah.
Like their streamer that they fuck with, or Apple, or Spotify, or Zane, or just whoever they're going to.
Yeah.
Not somewhere that's so irregulated.
That's why I would love to see Drake, because I actually think Drake is a good interview. I think he's interesting and smart and funny and thoughtful, but he so rarely now goes to any platforms where he can demonstrate those things outside of the controlled environment. You know, like he's about to do this. I know he's about to do this.
Bobby,
another thing with Bobby, another podcast. I would love to see him go out. It doesn't have to be here, although I think it'd be amazing here. But like, I
not invited up here, buddy.
Fair enough.
Not invited. But see, I like the running theme of that. I like his problem with hip hop media, and I like hip hop media's problem with him. I don't want it to end.
No, but see, I want some answers.
I don't want no answers. He doesn't. Let me. Yeah, let's stop it. They gonna clip me all up. Let me calm down. Let me calm down a bit. I think I've gotten all the answers that I was looking for.
They've kind of manifested themselves. Back to your point that all the beefs that he's had with what's my man's name on YouTube that he was firing at before with the glasses, Fantano. Fantano. Like he was firing at him however many years ago. Rob, now everyone, you,
but there's no accountability for it. Like we may get our answers for why we think he did a thing, but I think there's something interesting about saying, Drake, why did you do that? Why would you pick this? Why do you have picks? Or why did you make this choice? Or why do you think you won the beef? Or why do you think you didn't win the beef? Or whatever the thing is, whatever feelings he's feeling, we get it through the music, we get it through representation, but we don't get it from him on the platforms where people can ask questions back. And I just don't like that. And it's not just him. I mean, we see that with a lot of big stars. They just don't go on platforms anymore.
Yeah, but it's different with him because now every day or for the rest of time, it just looks like a music video for Not Like Us. That's why. Stay over there with Aiden Ross. Stay over there with Bobby. Stay wherever you feel comfortable at. Right? You're still not. That's still a controlled environment.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what I'm saying.
But stay over there. Like I kind of take offense that he even is calling Rob Markman a goof.
Yeah.
Rob Markman is comfortable
Solid.
in his skin.
Yes.
Never did nothing wrong
And a
to
good dude.
nobody.
Yeah.
Just a good dude all around the board.
That gives a fuck about music, by the
He
way.
loves music, loves hip hop. He's fucking
That part.
But if you're gonna stay in the white spaces, Drake, remember back in the day when people did Barbara. There's a point where Michael Jackson wasn't doing fucking local radio, but he would do Barbara Walters. He would do, what I mean? He still went places where people asked him questions that he wasn't expecting, or that he didn't have that he couldn't control the answer to. Drake, go do that. There's a million places that'll ask you a tough question outside of hip hop context if that's what you want.
I disagree.
You disagree with which part? That he should do it?
That there's a million places that'll ask him tough questions.
Oh shit, I disagree with that disagreement. In this current climate, I think that if he went anywhere after the year that he just had, people are going to ask him hard questions.
Yeah.
Anybody with responsible journalism, at least.
Yeah.
All right, well.
And there's enough of those.
You added that part.
Yeah.
Because he's not going to go sit down with the people I think that he can't
controls
necessarily
it, yeah.
control a narrative.
And that's what I don't like. That's what I'm saying. I just don't like that. And again, it's not particular to Drake, although Drake is a big example of it because he's such a star. But I don't like that in general, how it's changing out. Because there's so many platforms, people pick and choose, and it makes it look like they're on a press run, or it makes it look like they're on a media run. But they're ducking all the smoke.
I think that's just where we are.
Yeah, I hate it.
I think it's literally where we are.
And you know what? Let me not center this so much around Drake. I'm kind of out of that celeb culture. Like, I think a lot of these people carry real dark energy. I'm not in talking to you because of who you are and what you've done. This is all for Drake now. This is period. I'm broadening this. I'm not with being around some of these people. Like, when you really get into how I feel about these things, I'd rather talk to y'all. I'd rather talk to y'all. I'd rather talk to myself. Then I believe in all of that.
If you see a person's on the verge of healing, would you, say if they did have dark energy, but they're trying to heal, would you change your mind on that and sit down with them?
It wouldn't be just based on that. Like, I'm not trying to be nobody's psychiatrist either. I'm not trying to be nobody's therapist. If I talk to you and you seem cool and I would like to talk to you again, then cool. It don't even say that got to be in an interview. Like, I'm not polling people to interview.
That's interesting that you say that, and I believe you. But the last month, we've had probably more interviews than normal. And so there are a lot of people who would expect you to be about to say the opposite, that you're trying to get more into interviewing people. What's your thought process about when you want to interview somebody and why?
It's a lot.
Okay.
Some of it is them. Some of it is y'all. Some of it is what's going on up here. But everybody that has come through here, I want to talk to. Everybody that's come through here, I'm a fan of. I would have talked to them if the mic wasn't here. I guess I'm speaking about the people that I wouldn't speak to off of a mic.
Okay.
And on the mic. A couple of them niggas that DM me, I ain't open it. When I'm not there, I'm not even seeing what you had to say.
I respect that.
Way to go. Way to get us all clipped up from the topic that we were just supposed to breeze through.
Try to stop it.
Way to go.
You kept going.
I might edit it out later.
You said no edits today, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. You got a busy schedule today. There's no time.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna watch him and Bobby. I told y'all know I'm a fan of Bobby. Y'all know I'm a fan of Bobby. So I want to hear how
That shit
that
looks
goes.
fly too. The little.
I like the dry humor shit. I hope it does well. Shit, I hope I get some tea from it. But yeah, nothing really past that.
He saw you make the little offer to Bobby and came right back in.
All right, now look, we got more information on Drake and Joe Budden than we got about the Rob Markman beef from this segment. Now, I will say this. I didn't feel like this was a big thing. Y'all notice I didn't even make a video about this. I got respect for Rob Markman. If you was around in the early 2000s and 10s, you would hear his name a lot when it came to mixtapes and people rapping. It was somebody, was it Wiz or somebody? They had Rob Markman on a whole bunch of skits on their album. So he was around a lot, I want to say in the late 2000s and 10s and stuff like that. And now he's doing YouTube. I got respect for him, but I didn't feel like this was a big thing. Look, Drake said something on Instagram and Rob responded. I'm not the biggest, I'm gonna, make a video about some comments type of guy. You know what I mean? I'm tired of that. I'm not saying I'm past that, but I don't feel like it's enough for me to chew on from just an Instagram comment. And I guess that's why Joe and the pod, they didn't do some long breakdown about this beef either. So, Drake, he doesn't like a lot of people in hip hop media. I do feel like the Fantano situation is a little justified because Fantano is always hating on Drake. Rob Markman, yeah, I guess he can fall into this category of people who didn't meet Rod Drake during the Kendrick beef. But at the same time, I'll say this, it felt like a lot of the people who just felt like Drake wasn't hip hop enough, or they were fans of the traditional, I guess you can say, vibe or history of rap. I think a lot of people are older gentlemen in hip hop media feel like Kendrick is more boom bap. He represents more of that 90s hip hop than somebody like Drake. And so it feels like all of the guys who never wanted to give Drake his credit for being a good rapper or a lyricist, or always said he wasn't hip hop. People like Swiss Beats going on Drink Champ saying, this dude from Canada, he stole all of our culture. We saw a lot of that over the years. And when this beef took place, all of those people was like, yeah, F Drake. But I can't agree with Joe feeling like, all right, well, Drake just don't like anybody who didn't agree or didn't take his side in the beef. And that's fine. I don't mind Joe saying that. Now when it comes to the Drake interview conversation, because everybody's been having this conversation, look, I would love to see Drake sit down with Joe Budden. I think that's the interview I want. Somebody in my comments said they wanted to see him sit down with Drink Champs. I said maybe if he got drunk and started spewing all of this information he wouldn't normally say. But I think Joe and maybe Charlemagne are the only two people I can see asking him the real questions. But at the same time, I'm not here to critique him about sitting down with certain people when we don't hold Kendrick to that same standard. If Kendrick don't have to sit down with nobody from the culture, Drake don't either. Because I'm one of them people, both of them need to sit down with somebody who's going to give them a good interview. That little interview Kendrick did before the Super Bowl with Nadeska and Ebro, trash. Trash. It was trash. Because that's all softball, meat riding, that's all they was doing. If we ain't holding Kendrick to that same stance, and y'all don't never say, oh, Kendrick, he don't sit down with black commentators and he don't sit down with real people from hip hop. Don't do it with Drake just because a rap beef happened and y'all want to copy everything Kendrick Lamar said in some songs. Like, let's have our own brain. I love Kendrick and Drake, but we got to be fair. That's what my channel is about, being fair. And so in that case, I feel like Drake and Kendrick are both duck and smoke, okay? Now, when Joe got to talking about Dark Energy, and I know he said it wasn't about Drake, I couldn't help but feel it had a little bit to do with Drake. You know what I mean? And I'm like, wow. Of course, look, I don't want to get too deep in this, but that's the thing about Joe. he knows he has these little personal issues with certain people in the industry, and he wants everybody to forget about that. If y'all don't know about the alleged beef between Drake and Who Is Over, because I heard it was about a female, go do your own research. I'm not here to bring that up. But yeah, it's like, Joe, of course you would think that guy has dark energy if you feel like he did you dirty in the past. It was a reason he did all of those diss songs towards Drake, and it wasn't about Views from the Six being bad, okay? So that's all I'm gonna say about this. Y'all tell me what y'all think about all of this. Like the video and subscribe. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.